Hi, my friends. I just recorded two videos back to back, so but my fit is very cute today. I just thrifted these giant Scorpio earrings, and I mean I have big ass earlobes, so hopefully they don't rip out of my ear because that would suck. So I just recorded the Capricorn full moon video, and that was probably like the juiciest tarot reading I've ever done. Actually, it was quite good. And now it's Leo season, so I'm like continuing on with my tradition of yapping about my music oracle cards. There's only two this month, so then I pulled quotes from Coco Chanel and Andy Warhol too, I think. I didn't know either of them were Leos, but they are. Um, so we're gonna talk about that in a minute, but I'm just gonna like catch you up on my life first, I guess, while we're here, because I made a whole list of things I want to talk about on here. And um, I moved back into my parents' house like almost 2 months ago, and I'm like just finishing unpacking now. Like I'm a little bit scatterbrained, so you have to bear with me as I do things at my own pace. But some interesting things that I meant to tell you guys about, but I don't think I ever did. I think I talked about it on Instagram, maybe Tumblr, I don't know. But on July 1st, I'm in Canada, so Canada Day. I literally just wanted mini donuts. So I went to this like park by like in my hometown, and they always have a skateboarding competition there every year. And so I didn't know anyone there, but I was like, okay, like I'd just been at the gym. Let me just sit down. So I do. And I'm just watching like all these people skateboard, whatever. And then this woman comes and sits down with me. And she was maybe like 53. I don't know. I didn't get her name. But she just seemed really friendly. And like I'm the kind of person that like people love to come up and talk to me anyway. So I'm usually like, okay, like what do you have to say? Like, let's see. So, anyways, me and this woman are chit-chatting, and she starts telling me all these things about like med beds. I believe she said they're called. Okay, and so I have done some research on these things. And so like so first of all, let me explain what a med bed is. So she basically made it seem she's like, I'm 53, but in like 10 years, like I'm gonna have another baby because I'll have reversed age and I can like regenerate the limbs of amputees and like just like all kinds of stuff, like they're like these healing beds that apparently like every country in the world has signed on to receive so many. And she said that she's like a humanitarian, so like she gets first dibs and blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, so I'm just like, I'm sitting there, I'm nodding, I'm like, okay, cool, sounds good. um and so, but she she basically like, yeah, she made it seem like all of this was going to be coming very soon and stuff, or like that, like the technology already existed. And so when I went home, I decided to like look into it. And when I was like looking around on the internet, like all I could see was like people on Reddit being like, oh, that's something from a video game, it's not real, or like all these other sources like debunking it. But then the like skeptic in me, I was just like, okay, so is this like the government like hiding this information so that we don't have it? Or like, are these things real? Because, I like about half of what she said like resonated with me. And I was like, okay, yeah, this seems true. And then the other half, I was like, this is a bit out there. I don't know. You meet all kinds of people, right? But anyways, what has shifted for me though is one other thing that she told me is this was July 1st, like I said. She told me that something big was going to be happening with Donald Trump around like the 16th or 17th. I can't remember what day it was that the assassination attempt was. But so she was right about that. And she also said that prices of the banks will be going back to what they were in the 40s and 50s. And all the not just prices at the banks, sorry, prices in general, and that the banks are going to be closing down and like all this stuff. So, and again, I didn't get her name. I have no way to contact her ever again. Like I literally just met her at a random skateboard competition, and then she got up and she's like, "I'm going out for dinner." It's like, okay, nice chatting with you. Um, so we'll see. But I posted something about it on Instagram once I realized, like, I was like, oh shit, something did happen with Donald Trump. Because then I like I went on my Instagram story. I was like, do you guys remember? Like, I told you about this woman. Like, she said something was going to happen with Trump. So then when I was talking about that, this girl that I'm mutuals with on Instagram DM'd me and said, she's like, oh, look up med beds. And I was like, I have, but I can't fucking find anything on the internet that like seems legitimate. And she said that her grandpa was like a war veteran or something, and he had a friend that went in one and like reversed aged like 10 years. So she's gonna try to find me the article or like information or whatever that he gave her on it. Cause I'm very curious. I would love to know if this technology does exist and like if that's where we're moving. I don't know. Um, so yeah, that I've just been waiting to see how that plays out. And I've been like breaking generational curses with my little cousin. We've been having like a fun little summer actually. Like I thought I was gonna have a Mamma Mia summer for real. I'm having a Phineas and Ferb summer, but I think that might be more fun. So I'm just going with it. Okay. Let's get into some like Leo season stuff real quick. Hang on. Okay. So Kate Bush, I don't think I've ever listened to a Kate Bush song in my whole entire goddamn life, but she says never let go of mystery. And to me, that means like always leave yourself open to the great perhaps, or like never assume that you know what the universe has in store for you, because that can limit what it brings you. Because like you're not allowing yourself to be open to like what's trying to reach you. Like let's say like God is trying to send me a soulmate who's like is profile A. And I'm so fixated on profile B that I'm like, no, profile B has to be the exact same person for me that like I'm not even looking for profile A. So like what's for you will never miss you, but you can be repelling what's for you, you know? So focus on what it is that you think you want. Oh wait, no. Don't focus on what you think you want. Just be open to everything. Um, cultivate nostalgia for what never was. So I might have said this in another video, but there's a quote that's like nostalgia is a dirty liar that insists things are better than they seem. So instead of like yearning over the past and like what might have been, you want to allow yourself to fantasize openly about what might be next to you without attaching too strongly to any one idea. Like Leo season is a time of really great passion. I think Venus is in Leo too. So anything is possible right now. But I said in my last video that like fertility is running rampant. So be careful bodies, please. The arrows of desire are sometimes dipped in poison. So I think that we all too often can become our own worst enemy when it comes to desire. Like we think what we think we want can be the very thing keeping us trapped, and we're just in such a loop of insanity and trying to like fulfill that and make it happen that um, we're poisoning ourselves. So instead of going after material objects or like physical things to find your validation or happiness, like learn to look for the feeling that it is that you're chasing. So like maybe like confidence, happiness, safety, community, and like just go after what makes you feel that way. But don't be so fixated on like the visual. And then regularly check in with yourself to make sure daily steps that you're taking are aligned with the feelings you're seeking. And if they're not, like don't be too hard on yourself. Like just analyze, okay, what's working, what's not working, what can I do better? And go from there. That's all you can do is like hold yourself accountable, really. Um, but also know that nothing changes if nothing changes. Because I have been in that place before where it's like, you're just like, you're your own worst enemy. And you're like, well, I'm trying my best. But are you really? Like sometimes you are, but sometimes you're not. So just know that. And only you can know that. Um, Madonna. Madonna is very controversial, but I grew up listening to her a lot. So everyone is entitled to your opinion. I like this one a lot. And for me, it's like the internet is so much fun until it's not, and that's just because like social media is supposed to be this place where we can all like express ourselves and create and like post and do whatever we want. But people have taken it like I don't like posting on TikTok, for example, because it's kind of one of those things where it's like you post something and then everyone watches it and they think that they are your core target audience. Like they think that everything that they're doing is supposed to be for you, or everything that you're doing is supposed to be for them. Sorry. And that's not the truth. Like it's so easy. Like if something doesn't align with you, block, keep scrolling. Like there's so many options, but people get trapped in the negativity machine. And it's like that no one wants anyone else to take up space if it doesn't make them comfortable, if it isn't aligned with like what's making them happy. People are so easily influenced by other people's actions and stuff. And that is the pain body. I think I was talking about that in my last video, but in A New Earth, Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about the pain body. Please go read it. um, so just know that like this is like the basis of cancel culture is basically what I'm talking about. Like people like to say stuck in a victim state and hate follow people who trigger them just so they can keep their nervous system like in chaos and shambles, then they repeat the cycle over and over and over and project all that anger and hatred and bullshit. So you're not responsible for anyone else's opinion of you or reaction to you. All you have to do is love yourself and be authentic, and trust that what's for you will seamlessly align into your life. That's it. Unconditional love and authenticity are the highest vibrations on this planet. um, I don't really know how I feel about this quote, but it says, pleasure without permission can be the greatest pleasure of all. Um, Consent is everything. Let me just double down on that really quick. But for me, this one kind of resonates more as like not waiting for permission from anyone else to pursue um what makes you happy. So like let's say if you grew up experiencing a lot of like shame, like you grew up in like a hyper religious family and like your family didn't want you to be like a dancer or something, and then as an adult you're like, well, this is my passion, like I want to be a dancer, like this is who I am, so then it's like you give yourself that permission to be who you are regardless of like how other people might perceive you. um and the last one from Madonna is, you are and always will be your own work in progress. It's all about you, it always has been. Leo season is a time to be selfish. I'm just saying. Like I'm a Leo rising, so this kind of comes to me naturally, thank God. Um, but yeah, like don't be afraid to take up space. That's one thing. That's how I'm breaking generational curses with my cousin. Because when I was 19, I was afraid to take up space. So I'm trying to show her that she doesn't have to be. And I think it's working. Okay, and then so other quotes. I'm just gonna ramble about this and we'll see what comes out. So Coco Chanel says, you were born an original, don't become a copy. A lot of us spend so much time trying to be so much like everyone else or whatever, and it's just like the more, again, authenticity is a very high vibration. Like it seems scary to be yourself at first and it can be kind of isolating, but for me it's like now like so when I was younger and I was putting myself out in the dating world, like I would make myself smaller, or I wouldn't want to express myself or like just be the most me I could be, because I was like, oh, people won't like that. And not in like a derogatory way, like there's anything wrong with me, but just more so in a way that like they can't handle all that I am. Like I'm a lot, I'm not for everyone, right? So then now my approach is just like put myself all out there right away. And if someone can't handle that, they're not the one for me. But if I just keep being authentically me, then eventually what's for me will find me. And if not, at least I still have me. Not so bad. Um, okay, Coco also said luxury must be comfortable, otherwise it is not luxury, which I really like that one because to me that means like, so I could look at Kim Kardashian's life, right? And someone might say like, oh, that's so luxurious, like that's so glamorous, I want to like live like her. And maybe for her, like that's comfortable, like that's what makes her happy. But then it's like, if I were to actually put myself in her shoes and live that life, like, would that feel luxurious to me? Would I have to step out of my integrity for that to be my luxury? Because if yes, then why am I chasing that? What I need to chase is what feels luxurious to me when I'm in my integrity, when I am my highest, most authentic self. That is luxury. Um, and this one kind of goes hand in hand with that. It's like there are people who have money and people who are rich. So, which do you want to be? Okay, Andy Warhol. Um, he had some good ones too. So, oh, this kind of goes back to, I think, what I said earlier, nothing changes if nothing changes. So he said, they always say that time changes things, but you actually have to change them yourself. Because it's so true. Like a whole month can go by. And like if you're a goal-driven person and you actually say, like, okay, every day this month, I am going to cross one thing off of this like master to-do list of things I've been procrastinating. At the end of that month, your life will look drastically different. And I have genuinely tried to do that some months, and it has done a lot for me. And then there are months where it's just like I feel like I can go weeks without, like I can have a list and it's like I can't fucking do anything, right? So it's like that is all in my personal will though. Like in any of those moments where I wasn't getting anything done, like yeah, sure, sometimes like things might have come up where I might have been like sick or just like whatever, like unable to do things, but a lot of the time like we can be doing more for ourselves than we do. Um, Another Andy quote is, sometimes people let the same problem make them miserable for years when they could just say, so what? That's one of my favorite things to say. In the Eckhart Tolle book I was reading, so he tells this story of like these two monks and they're walking and then they see like this woman and she didn't want to get her kimono dirty. So one of the monks picks her up and carries her across the water. And then like hours later, this one monk was just like, why did you do that? We're not supposed to do that. And then the other monk was like, are you still carrying that girl? Like I put her down hours ago. Because so many people, it's like, even if it's like not in our own lives, like we can hold on to the things that other people have done to us or said to us or just, any of that. And it just like the pain body. Stop identifying with your pain body for yourself. Um, and my last quote, my last Leo season quote from Andy, he says, people should fall in love with their eyes closed. And I think that goes back to like some of the earlier things I was saying, how like, you know, if you are like profile B is exactly what I'm looking for. So then you're not looking at anyone with like the qualities that like don't fall in like your usual type or whatever. Think about all that you're missing. You know, even if it's like not from a romantic perspective, like I'll admit, like, am I to me looks are important, and like that is because I'm a person who takes care of myself, like, you know, like I go to the gym, I put effort into my appearance, like I care about stuff like that, so like I wouldn't feel aligned with a partner who doesn't also do that. But I also understand that people age, people have moments where they don't feel great, they're not always going to look perfect, I don't always look perfect, you know what I mean? But it's just like it's more about the soul. So like imagine what life would be like if we all fell in love with our eyes closed. Like who do you think you would love that you won't even give the time of day to right now? Much to think about, you know? Um, I hope this helps. It felt good to get out. I'm gonna go do some writing and go to the gym and make salad for dinner. That's my plan. Okay, bye.